Good afternoon, all. It is Ash here from Performance Training Academy. We've decided to do a bit of a live this afternoon, a live video. Some of you may be seeing it live, some of you may be watching this later on or some point in the week. It's with myself and a good friend of mine who helps me out a lot with my marketing. She's called Amy Green of Happy Funnels. So I'll bring her in a second. We're just going to discuss really the state of the health and fitness industry in a minute, where it's at, what it's like since the pandemic, how it's growing since the pandemic as well, and just give a little bit of an insight to people looking to come into the industry really, and hope information for you all. So I'm just bringing Amy in as we speak, which is why I'm mumbling my words because I can't do two things at once. There we are.
Hello.
Afternoon,
sorry,
Amy.
I think you got my blank wall again then, didn't you?
Only slightly.
Camera around.
Only slightly. Well, you know, it happened in practice. It had happened live as well. Amy, thanks very much for coming on. And this is Amy's idea, by the way. Those who know me well and work with me here at Performance Training Academy know that I'm quite a behind-the-scenes person. But I do like getting in front of a camera occasionally. And Amy's good idea this week, because she does help me a lot with my marketing, was to just do a live. Just give some information out there that would help people. And that's actually one thing that hopefully will be a current trend through this little live video we're doing, is when you have a service and when you've got a product, sometimes, and I can hold my hand up and say I do this a lot, I don't shout about it enough. I am a little bit shy to shout about it sometimes. The thing is, when you've got a service, a product that can definitely benefit and help people, you should be shouting about it. Because if people want to buy into that service and product, they don't know how to, because you're not putting that marketing out there. And I guess that's one thing that we've talked about a lot, Amy, isn't it? And it's one thing that we're going to talk about today slightly in our conversation, where we're going to be discussing really about the fitness industry and how people can get into it, and what it's like at the minute, and how you do have to put yourself out there a bit, right?
Yeah, well, basically, I had this idea because for those that know you as well, know how easy you are to talk to, how at ease you put people, and how well you are explaining things. And sometimes it's quite hard to get that across in the little squares on Instagram or YouTube, and it's a lot of work. And I was like, let's get Ash talking on Instagram Live, because I think you can get across what it is that you do with your team and how you work with your students probably better. This is a good thing for you. So I basically wanted to hijack your Instagram and interview you, so you can get all the goodness out about what it is that you do.
Sounds good. I love being interviewed. Yeah, happy.
So, obviously, the first thing is, how is the fitness industry faring with other industries? How has it survived? How is it coming through COVID? But then also this year, because this year has thrown another curveball at a lot of industries. So, how do you feel it's coping at the moment?
It's definitely been a challenging few years. Speaking for myself and speaking for people I've worked with and worked alongside over the last few years, obviously since 2020, really, with the whole pandemic coming through that, hopefully that's behind us now. Yeah, I've worked with a lot of people who have struggled and have had to change how they do their business and find other ways of still providing for themselves and for their family and stuff like that. So it's definitely been a challenging few years. It's not all doom and gloom.
Can I interrupt you there? Can I interrupt you a minute? Is this, when you say challenging, is that for people who are have got their own businesses as personal trainers, or is that for people in their employees of fitness clubs and things like that? Has it been across the board, or?
Yeah, I think definitely, obviously self-employed, because self-employed, you've got a product that you want to sell, and for the last few years, a lot of us had a moment where we couldn't sell that product and we couldn't see people, and we couldn't, the thing that I love about this industry, it's very personable. I know a lot of personal trainers who have gone online as a result of the pandemic and stayed online as well. I know a lot of people have gone online, it served the purpose, but couldn't wait to get that interaction again with other individuals, which is what personal training is, or group exercise instructing, or obviously something like sports massage. You need to have that personable in-person interaction to make it a successful business and to provide that service that people want. So to have that taken away, that was a real big thing for a lot of individuals. And I know a lot of people, I struggled, I know a lot of people that struggled as well in that time. But coming through the other side, yeah, I think the fitness industry has shown since the pandemic that there's a lot of individuals out there who, like, whether it's a customer doing some form of online coaching or personal trainers delivering that online coaching, there's a lot of people that want to get back into that face-to-face, get into that gym environment, be around other people. And that's what so many people missed out on for a number of years, is that interaction, that social interaction. It's back now.
What about the client? Yeah, go on. No, sorry, go on, carry on.
Yeah, no.
What about the client on the other side of that?
Yeah, especially the client, like, you know, being able to get into a gym and be with that professional that's going to teach them in person how to do what they need to do to be healthier, fitter and stronger. That was definitely lacking. So the fact that we can all now do that again is brilliant. And I think the fitness industry, it's always been a growing industry for like the last 10, 15, 20 years since I've been in it. I've always seen that growth in this industry, more people coming in, more gyms opening up. Now, though, obviously with this pandemic hopefully behind us, you know, people just want to get back into that gym environment. They want that vibe, that energy of being around other people, working with someone on a personal level as well. That's back now. And that's, you know, it's really good for fitness professionals to be able to do their job again. So the fact that it seems behind us, great, you know, we can all do our job again. The fitness industry, I think it is busy. You know, it's not, it doesn't mean since a pandemic finished that everyone flocks back to the gyms. I know a lot of gym owners as well who are still pushing to get their client base back up to where they want it to be, whether that's pre-pandemic or whatever their long-term goal may be. But it's happening and people are getting back into a gym again. They want that energy. They want that vibe. They want to be around other people and socializing and growing that circle of friends again. So I think the fitness industry is on that growth again. You know, has that same trajectory it was doing before COVID. It seems to be resonating again now, where people want to go back into a gym and be in person with their personal trainer, which is what personal training is all about, really.
Do you find the type of clients that are coming through are slightly different? I mean, you've spoken a lot about people wanting that face-to-face personal connection and getting out there. We've all wanted that. But in terms of what about the clients, people that might have more of an interest in their health since COVID and everything else that's going on, especially the mental health aspect side of things? Has there been a change, an increase in people coming in like that?
Yeah, I think so. And again, obviously, as a lot of people know, I'm more forefront of this business than I do personal training. I still do a very small amount of personal training on the side. So I can't speak for a lot of fitness professionals, but speaking with students who we've brought through the academy and peers of my own, obviously I still work very closely with a lot of personal trainers, tutors, etc. Yeah, I think there's been that need for people to think about their health a little bit more. Obviously, the pandemic was all health related, wasn't it? It was a viral infection. It was a respiratory infection. It affected those who maybe did have gaps in their health effectively. So I think people coming into gym now, putting their health as a forefront is definitely there. And that's always been one of our messages anyway. You know, with the fitness industry, it can be seen as a bit of an aesthetic industry, people just wanting to get ripped and lean and all this sort of stuff. But the forefront of our industry is health. You know, it's the health and fitness industry for a reason. And maybe and just speaking with a lot of people, I think a lot of clients now are thinking, right, I need to put my health first. I need to think about myself. Yeah. That pandemic really hit me, whether it's, I know people who have had COVID, close people to me who had COVID as well, and really struggled with the consequences of having COVID, you know, and rehabbing themselves back to normal, to a normal fitness level. It's been hard for a lot of individuals. And then we're not going to talk about long COVID, but, you know, I know people who had long COVID as well. So I think that pandemic has made people think a lot more about their health, and they want to get into a gym environment with a fitness professional, with a personal trainer, or attend some form of group exercise class, or do something for themselves to put their health first. You know, and still people will never put their health first. There's so many other things going on in their lives, their business, their family, all sorts of stuff. Health can sometimes be put down.
It filters down, doesn't it? That feeling good factor onto every other aspect of our lives. So moving on to the kind of people that are going to come and train with you, have you seen a change? Has there been an increase or a decrease in students coming through? And what are their reasons for wanting to train with you now? Is this because they've gone, crikey, you know, I can see how life changes so quickly, I'm going to go for my dreams? Or is it a case of they've had uncertainty in their own jobs and they want more control of what it is they do? What's been the driving force behind the students that you're seeing coming through at the moment?
Yeah, there's still that same trend of people, and this is pre-pandemic as well, of people wanting to do something for themselves, to do a career that they, one of our slogans is pretty much do a career that you love. That comes back on how I felt when I got into the industry, my peers, my colleagues, my tutors, why they got into the industry. It's always to do a job that you want to do and you want to help people. And it's related to what your interests are in health, fitness and training and nutrition. So we still get a lot of people just saying, like, the job I'm doing, it's not for me. I want to change up. I want to do something that I enjoy. I want to help people. And obviously personal training or becoming a fitness professional of sorts will allow you to do that, and that's something that people can read about in all the blogs that we have. There's a constant theme of do a career that makes you want to get up for work every morning, sort of thing, So that was pre-pandemic as well. Now it's obviously a lot of people lost jobs through the pandemic. So I've worked with people whose careers did change because of COVID, and they've done this as it was their time to change up their career, use that as the reason to do it and to do it now. But yeah, I think since COVID and people getting back to normality, obviously a constant question I was getting during 2020, 2021, is it a good time to get qualified as a fitness professional with everything that's going on? My answer was always, I can never speak for people. I can never say, yeah, definitely get qualified. You'll do amazing. There's loads of money out there. There's loads of clients out there. But because it was a health pandemic, people need help with their health. And the first thing they do is turn to a professional. The thing to remember is not everyone knows where to start when it comes to getting healthy, to start training, to start exercising, to start moving, to start, eating better. No one knows where to start. Unfortunately, nowadays, there's so many different people shouting about what you should do, how you should do it. It confuses people even more, even though there's more resources and more platforms that people can go to do that. Because there's so much choice, people don't know where to start. So that's why personal trainers, fitness professionals have got their role, because they can help these people that now want to put their health first, think about themselves. But yeah, so I think post the pandemic, there's definitely we're seeing more people wanting to change careers, not do a job that they've been doing for the last 5-10 years that they don't enjoy anymore. And I think it's because it was that health element behind it. People want to I want to do something that's going to help people with their health and inspire people to move more and be healthier and that sort of stuff, So a lot of the people coming through and wanting to do our courses are there just because, they might not like the career they're in, but it's generally because they want to help people and promote that fitness and healthy lifestyle, I think.
Okay, so you touched on the fact that somebody who might be seeking fitness support or health support, and how much noise there is online, basically, isn't it? There's so many avenues and places that you can go. But that also relates to online course providers. Now, we both know as business owners, I'm service-based online as well, that there's a lot of competition. So what do you feel makes you unique, makes you stand out, makes you the one for people to consider investing in if they are going to make that leap to well, because it's not actually, when they come to you, they're not completely changing careers, are they? Because there is the option to add to what they already have, who are already in the fitness industry. So what do you feel it is that you bring to the table? I know, because it's all you lot, but it's that personal touch and the work that I've done with you. The feedback that I've seen, everybody has always just gone, oh my gosh, Ash and his team are amazing. They're so approachable, they're funny, they're, so qualified, so knowledgeable. But when you set up this business and how you want it to be seen and known and give, what is it that makes you the go-to?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's tough to answer as well, because I'm very aware that all businesses will say, right, we're the best because of this, and I'm very proud of what we've developed as a company over the last 10, 15, 20 years. I'm talking about time that I was putting into this business before it was even an academy, where I was just building that experience of myself as a personal trainer, as a fitness professional, and working with others, and all of those experiences and journeys kind of help build the foundations to this business. And we want to put that within all of the content that we try to create and put into our qualifications, as well as our online content as well. So it is a tough one. I think personally, when people are thinking about coming to this industry, they need to find the qualification that's going to give them everything that they need. And that's what I've worked really hard to put together. Pre-pandemic, luckily for us as an academy, we went down the blended learning route. So we started putting together online content that people can do as soon as they enroll onto one of our courses. And the reason for that was because logistically, the course we had before any online content came to fruition for us, we had to get people into a gym/classroom environment for about 20 days over a 2 or 3 month period. And for some people that worked brilliantly. For a lot of other people who've got jobs, careers, family, kids, it was hard to commit to 20 days worth of teaching. But that's what we had to do to cover the syllabus-based knowledge. I love teaching that way. I love being in the classroom, talking about anatomy, talking about programming, talking about nutrition. And I love the courses that we've done and delivered in that manner, but it just wasn't logistically sound for a lot of individuals. So that's why we made that choice to go, right, we have to try this blended learning thing. Now, there's many pros to blended learning and online learning. The one thing I'd like to stress is, and this is why I'm really proud of what we do, is all of these qualifications we have, personal training, Pilates, sports massage, they're practical vocations where you've got a practical skill which you are delivering to another individual. There's lots of reasons why you've got to be very competent at doing that correctly. So of practical workshops that people can attend is so important, you know, because there are qualifications that people can do. Even sports massage, I don't know how this works, can be done fully online. Don't know how, but it happens, and there are those courses out there. So we want to make sure that the forefront of our business is getting our students coming in and seeing an experienced fitness professional. I'm very lucky that I've got a great group of tutors that teach for us. They're all experienced, they're all really personable, they're all you know, they're people that can use their own experiences, their wins, their losses, and pass on, as well as teach our content for us. And you know, I used to do all the teaching, as you know, so I used to do all the teaching, everything like that. Love doing it all, but then you get to a point where you can't do everything, otherwise other parts of your business suffer. So bringing in these tutors has been the best part of my business and of my journey so far. So that's at the forefront of our business still. The massive pro about having an online package and platform to go with that is people can start learning straight away. When we used to do it all in-house, like all the classroom teaching, people could sign up to my course, but then have to wait 6 weeks for it to start. So then there's like twiddling their thumbs, waiting for their learning journey to progress. Yeah, we can send them a manual, they can start reading stuff, but they're not effectively learning until they get tutor to student time. So the online content, the online learning platform allows us to have anyone sign up and start learning on that very same day. You know, they can get into the first unit, looking at lifestyle awareness, working with anatomy and physiology, depending on whatever course they're doing, they can start learning immediately. And that's a really big pro for us. You know, it starts their learning process straight away. So that's a really good
Do they need to have completed that before coming? Sorry, do they need to have completed that before doing the practicals?
No, there's two ways to look at it. Obviously, some people sign up to our course when there's workshops about to start a couple of months away. So they've got 2 months, you know, and again, if they couldn't do anything for 2 months, that's quite a negative thing for some individuals. So having 2 months before the first workshop comes around, they've got 2 months where they can really get into their studies and potentially, and more likely, complete their online content and all the subject knowledge for the theory, the nutrition, the programming, the business acumen section. They can complete all of that before they step foot into a gym with one of our tutors. So they're, you know, I'm not going to say they're further ahead than other students, but they've ticked off a big part of the course.
It's a nice grounding.
Yeah, exactly. Some people come into our course just before workshops are about to commence, so they've only got like a week or two to get into the online content before any practical work. It doesn't matter if it happens that way. You know, some people feel more, and we've had people who had the opportunity to come to our practical workshops in a week's time because they're just about to kick off and we've got a space available for them, but they're like, well, actually, I'm a bit unsure. My confidence level is still a little bit low. I don't know too much about the gym environment, stuff like that. I'd rather do the online content first and come to the practical workshops after. And that's perfectly fine. That's a conversation that we have with the student when they enroll. Other people, they want to get everything done. They want to get their qualification. They want to get and start using this with their clients as soon as possible. So they're quite happy to, do a few lessons with the online content and then a week's time, get into the gym environment with one of our tutors and start learning the practical side. So it doesn't matter if you do it that way. They can still then work through the online theory alongside their practical workshops. The best way to look at it is this. To complete all of our courses, you have to do theory, you have to do practical. If you do theory, then practical, great. If you do practical alongside your theory, as long as you're getting both done, it doesn't matter, you know. So yeah, but again, we speak with all of our new enrollees. We just make sure that they learn the best way to suit their timescale and for their way of learning also.
Okay, so coming back to that then, so obviously they have the flexibility to do the work as and when they can. So when you're saying about the practical side then, how many times a year do you run those practical elements of it? And how long does somebody need realistically to complete the course? I mean, all sorts of things get thrown up. So if, you know, they're saying they can have 2 months to do this before they do a practical, but then a life event happens or something, how long have they got to complete this?
Yeah, it's entirely down to the individual again. So what we do is when someone enrolls, Lottie, one of my colleagues, she'll be in touch with all of our students, make sure they can access everything they need to know, and make sure they know when their practical dates are going to be, book them onto those practical dates, etc. So she has that conversation with them. Now, some people will come to us and say, look, I've got a good few months now where work's quite quiet, kids are away, whatever the reason may be, they got time for themselves. So they want to like not rush through this, but get through it in a nice timely manner. So someone who's got that time and availability, they could get through our full, I mean, it depends on different courses, but let's speak about our flagship course here, the personal training course. They could complete it in about 3 months, 12 weeks. That's an average, all right? We've had people complete everything quicker than that because they've had to treat it like full-time study. They're logging in online Monday morning at 8 a.m. They're finishing Monday night at 5 or something like that, and they're doing the same on Tuesday.
Oh, how wonderful that is.
I mean, yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't always have that capability, right? So some people have done it that way and completed the whole thing within like 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, and if we're chatting with one of our students and that's what they want to do, we'll support them through that. You know, we don't want people to rush through this. Now, this is one thing I think where the industry needs to be discussed, where there are a lot of fast track courses. I've seen personal training courses on Groupon, for example, where you can do a fully fledged PT qualification for like, I don't know, a couple £100. And within about 3 weeks, you're fully qualified. Now, anyone who's a personal trainer, fitness professional watching this, or any of our students who have worked with us and my tutors as well, will agree, you can't rush into the industry in a couple of weeks. You know, even if you've got lots of experience of weight training and stuff, that's not the be all and end all to be a good fitness professional. It's working how to build that client base. It's working about how to build work with a diverse bunch of clients. Not everyone's the same. Everyone's their own individual. So yeah, that takes a bit of time. And, you know, you've got to think about the business side of things as well. So we never want people to fast track through a course. That's why we always say it's about an average about 3 months. 12 weeks to complete our personal training course. Can be done quicker. A lot of people prefer to take it a bit longer. You know, I'm working with students now that have been doing it for 6 months, 8 months, because that's how it suits their lifestyle. They're not in a rush to get fully qualified. They're enjoying taking their time with it. That's perfectly fine. But again, we have that conversation with them very early on. You know, when they're doing their assessment plan, Lottie will be in touch with them, set some targets, set some dates, because we all work better with a deadline and a target to work towards. Otherwise, if we just set people up and say, right, off you go, do that as quick or as long as you like, some people won't ever do it. So there is that importance to still put some form of date, timeline into it. Otherwise, people can just get a little bit, you know, forget about it. It sits on their desk, their manual sits on the desk. I'll log in tomorrow. You know,
yeah.
One other thing to touch on your question, Ames, I want to say is with the online platform, one of the main reasons we wanted to have this in place, and this comes from teaching people fully in class and gyms as well, is to have it as a constant resource, you know, and I think that's important for this industry. Getting qualified and then knowing what to do next is really important, but being qualified and having a resource to be able to pull from when you need this information the most, as in, I'm about to do a nutrition plan for my clients or look at a food diary. I can't remember how to analyze it because I did my course 6 months ago. The ability to be able to log in, find that nutrition lesson. We teach it all as we were in a classroom, camera, whiteboard, PowerPoints and all that sort of stuff. So it feels like you're still teaching students face to face in many ways. The benefit of doing it online though is they can reflect back and go to those lessons anytime they want. And that's what I found I needed when I qualified. Started working with my clients, I could remember stuff I got taught on my workshops that I did with my personal training course back all the way in the early 2000s. But you forget those lessons very quickly. You know, I might have had a manual or some notes I could have look to, but I couldn't remember the lessons. And the ability to go back and relearn and recap, I think that's really important.
It's just a refresh. And obviously, as you've touched on already, each client is going to be different. They're going to have different needs, isn't it? And it's a great opportunity for you to go back and look at that stuff. So when somebody becomes a student then, and you're saying they've got those resources, are these resources that once they have completed all the practical and the online training, that they can still log in to your online training platform, or is this stuff that they will download themselves, or how long will they have access to you for?
Yeah, well, this is something that we want to create as a lifelong thing. I've been told by people that, you know, once people qualify, you should take that away. And if they want access to it, you've got to charge them for it, or something like that. I don't think that's right. I think our students, they invest in their qualification, in their future. They invest in what we've put together. We strongly believe we've developed something that's really, really good. You know, that's the message. And I know all companies will say the same thing, our stuff is the best. But I really think just by the time and effort and we've put into this, and we're still building this even, as you know, Ames, you know, my head's still down but behind my computer, tapping away, trying to create this whole hub of resources. And we want our students to have that as access for free for life if they want it. Some people will never log in again. They get their qualification, they're done, they're checked out, they're moving on, they're doing their thing. That's perfectly fine. But we do have students that do want to still access that information. I would like to access it. If I just qualified, and then, you know, the time you need these lessons and those teachings is when you start working with your clients. You know, yeah, you need it when you're going through your course to get you qualified, but our questions come 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line when we're taking on board a client and we go, I remember how to train someone who's, you know, coming back from pregnancy or something like that, but I can't remember fully what I should do again, you know. And yes, you can refer to a manual, but having lessons all on that online taught to you live almost again, you know, I think that's a really big resource. That's one of the big things that we want to do. Even like a whole exercise and coaching library. You know, when you're in with the tutors, you're learning how to do deadlifts, how to do squats, how to progress and regress exercises. That's all there in our exercise and coaching library as well. So I'm really proud of what we've done, and I'm still developing it. I've got a few more things up here left. There's not much up in my head, but there's a few more things left that I want to still chuck into it.
There's lots of ideas up there. Yeah. Well, and I think that really comes down to value for money as well, because let's touch on money. It's obviously a big thing when people are deciding to do anything in life, really. It's kind of, you know, can I afford to do this? And it will be a massive deciding factor for a lot of people. I think for those that aren't used to learning online, especially when it's going to be accredited courses, you know, the certification process and everything like that, sometimes they can be a bit shocked when they see those prices. I think because we're in that world, we kind of get used to seeing certain numbers and things like that. But when you think about the prices that you charge for your courses, I suppose compared to the price of what you might pay to go to college, because if you're going to college, you would have to look at how much time you're actually in your paid job, wouldn't you, to allow you to go to college or university and things like that. How does that compare? I mean, I think what you offer is great value, especially with that lifetime, or aiming for that lifetime access, because I know I've got things where I've paid similar prices, and, you know, 2 years down the line, I'm still going back in. So I know the value of that. But for people who aren't there yet, talk to me about the value of your courses against the price that you charge.
I'm going to be honest here. I think we charge too less for what our qualification is, and that's just the state of the industry.
I know you do. You put your prices down.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things, you know. The reason I'll start by saying the reason I think we're too cheap is because the time, effort, and energy that's gone in, not just the online content, the practical workshops as well, and using our tutors. That's the key for our courses. You know, we put a lot of time and effort into this online platform. We're developing it, we're building it all the time. That lifelong, I think that's like invaluable. When I qualified, if I had something like that, I would have been set up for my business, but I had nothing. So I had to wing a lot of the stuff I was doing and guesstimate whether I'm doing it right or wrong. So that's one plus, you know, and that's why I think we undercharge for that. Again, the practical workshops, having the tutors that we have, and honestly, I think they're amazing tutors, and I'm very lucky to have them. They go all out to not just teach what we've set as our lesson plans to our students, but they go all out to make sure our students learn to the right level to set them up well for this industry. That's what they do. And that's why the online content is a massive plus for our course. But I think working with those tutors, that's what I think really benefits our students. And that's why I'm really grateful for the tutors we have. They're a great bunch. They know their stuff. They know more than what I do. I don't teach anymore because I've not got a full-time personal training business or sports massage business anymore. And I'm not in it on a weekly basis. So they're doing that, and they've got that. And that's why their wins, their losses, how they work with different clients, that's what they give across to our students. So that's what I think makes our course too cheap. You know, we've got a great online platform. We should be charging more for it. We should be charging more for our tutors.
Yeah,
you know, the tutors that we have, they're amazing.
I now want to lead on as to the reason why you reduced your prices. And I'm going to fill this gap in for you, because you said to me, you know, you'd had so many, you'd had people reach out to you in communication who wanted to come and do this, but because of current times, COVID and everything else that's going on, it was just out of their reach. And you did that out of the kindness of your heart, basically, because I can remember you saying you felt bad. So, and it was, people wanted to do this kind of thing. So, so I think that was a very heart-led decision from you. Other people in business might have gone, "What the hell are you doing?" kind of thing. But you did that because you care so much. And I know that's probably going to be really embarrassing now, but I know that you genuinely do care about your students and your business and your profession and all the other people, the rest of your team, kind of thing. So, so the prices that you have reduced that to reflect the current climate, which is honourable, but you have made it easy for people to join as well with different payment plans and options and things like that. Okay, and I know that this probably coming across a bit salesy, but it's just letting people know, because sometimes people see a certain price and they bring the shutters down and that's it. You know, they step away from something that they really want to do. But it's exploring different options that you have to fulfill those aspirations and dreams, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is it. And I think you can have the best product in the world. And anyone who develops anything that's worth its value and that you want to sell and are proud of that, you know, they want as many people to have that as possible. And that's one thing that we found, obviously, pandemic wise, and people losing their current careers, or, you know, just going, you know, the cost of living. Now we can talk about cost of living and all of that sort of stuff, which is always in the news. And it's always, I mean, I'm feeling that, you're feeling that, I'm sure we all feel it in our own ways, right? I just want as many people as possible to be able to get the education. If they want to become a fitness professional, they need to get the right education. Now, I did my course back in early 2000s. A personal training course back then was like £5,000. And that was an average price. You know, I was 21 years old. I didn't have £5,000 to rub together. And I didn't, you know, I had to go to a bank, get a loan and pay that back over 5 years. And it was just how I found, if I wanted to invest in my future to do the career that I wanted, I had to get £5,000 on how to do it. So you turn to a bank, right? So over the years, though, the greater good for anyone who's thinking about getting into industry now, courses have gone down a lot in price. You know, we've dropped our price over the last few years to reflect, obviously, more competition. More competition means that everyone drives the prices down, which is frustrating, but it's just part of the business side of things as well. And as I say, we are probably too low, but that is at the moment just because people don't have expendable cash. And, you know, people want to do this qualification. They want to make a good life for themselves. I know they can have a really good career and a really good life for themselves because I've done it myself. You don't have to be anything special to build that client base. You just need to get the qualification, be personable, be professional, build your business in the correct way, which we teach everyone all to do this on the course. It's not like we don't teach that. That's a massive part of it. We get them to do that from day one. And then they can go out and they can find those clients. And questions like, is it a saturated industry, stuff like that? Can I build my business? And it's really not. It's a case of, you don't need 50 clients to be successful. You can have 10 clients and get a good, decent wage at the end of the month, sort of thing. So yes, we brought our prices down. It is to reflect cost of living, pandemic, getting everyone back into the industry again. Competition as well brought us down. But, you know, I think so long as people can do our courses and it's attainable for them, we've tried to make all of our courses, I've tried to break down any barrier people can have. So one barrier for becoming a personal trainer would be time. I haven't got time to come and do 20 days in a gym, in a classroom, to learn that qualification. So how do we overcome that barrier? Well, let's put on together some blended learning so they can do a lot of that learning, still supported by us at home. If they got a question about nutrition or anatomy, they put their hand up and they send us a question via email or on the live chat on the website or something like that. So we broke down that barrier of time by creating that. Money, another massive barrier for a lot of people. So what can we do? Well, we could bring our prices down slightly. Yeah, sure. We can put installment plans. We're not banks, you know, we're not going to put like start fining people 80 quid if they miss a payment or anything like that. But that was another way to help people like overcome that barrier of getting to do a career that they really want to do, just by making it accessible. So even our installments are a lot less than what they used to be. So we've tried to do everything we can, even when it comes to learning. You know, some people learn visually, some people need to be told in person, some people want to read and learn from a book. So to help people learn in their own way, we've got visual stuff online. We've got, they can learn by reading stuff, by getting their manuals out and reading through their manual. They can learn by being taught in person, practically how to, so you kind of cover for every learning need as well. So, and again, that's something that I'm proud of. You know, we didn't want to just put something together, slap it out there, put a price tag on it and just sell it as many times as we can over. We wanted to make sure that we add value to what we do and give people what they need for that. It's a big investment, don't get me wrong. And even though, yes, we are a little bit cheaper than what we have been, it's an investment that I know is some people don't make very easy. Like, for example, you know, I want to become a personal trainer. I don't know where I can get that money from. I think I can afford those installments, but I'm not too sure. You know, it's one of those. It's not an easy, yeah, I want to do that course because I can afford that and it looks the best one, so I'll do that one. You know, we try to make it, we try to accommodate as many people as we possibly can. And you know, that's all you can do really, isn't it, Ames? You know, you know the same for your business.
It is, yeah. And I think it's giving people the opportunity to do something that they really want to do, to make it accessible. And I think you have, over the years, as you have grown with your own passion for the industry, but then your knowledge of business and how, and really listening to your students and the feedback, and your team as well, as to how you can make those subtle changes or those add-ons which are going to give people the experience that they want. Because I know you are so value driven. I mean, I mean, we laugh and joke about, you know, 80-20 with overindulgence with chocolate biscuits and the odd wine and things like that. But, you know, you and your family, you know, this is your thing, isn't it? You know, you love the health and fitness industry. I mean, your wife, Gemma, you know, she's PE teacher. She's up at the crack of dawn every day, isn't she? Doing all her fitness bits and pieces. So, you know, this really is your life and what you love to do. So I think it's nice that you are constantly thinking of how you can encourage people to come into your world so that they can have that same experience as you. So yeah. So moving forward then, you say you've always got things going on in your head. I know that you have done a podcast before and you're going to reignite that podcast because I think you're really good at talking to people. What are there plans for any changes coming up in the few years, or are you just wanting to really focus on, you know, that student interaction and making sure everything's delivered in the best possible way? What's the future looking like? What's going on in that brain of yours?
Well, again, there's not much up there, Ames, but like what I've been trying to do, and this is why, you know, Ash from Performance Training Academy has been a bit quiet the last few months. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and that's been purposely done because of the end goal. So the end goal is to try to add to what a lot of our students are already using as their online learning platform, because I can see what it can be. I love what it is now, but I can just see I can make it that little bit better. So not so much to benefit them as they go through their studies, but benefit them for when they're qualified. So that's what I'm trying to put together now. And as well as, it's not just the online learning platform, it's your social media content. It's the free value you can give to individuals who are thinking about becoming a fitness professional, and just any individual that has any care, passion, and want to learn more about fitness, training, nutrition, lifestyle, health, wellness, mindset, business growth, and all that sort of stuff. So I've learned, like you, Ames, I've learned a lot over the years by working with people, listening to people, doing courses. And there's not loads up here, but there's a bit more up here that I can still put out there into our online content. As well as the online content, it's a case of developing our YouTube channel, our podcast platform as well, the blog page on our website, and videos. So there's loads of work I still want to do to be able to offer a hub of resource for anyone who's a fitness professional, but also anyone who wants to develop and work on themselves. You know, I want to learn more about how to train correctly or how to eat better. And again, don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of, because of the social media platforms and because it's so easy to have that place where you can put all your thoughts and your teachings to other individuals, and people do get a bit lost because there's too much choice now. You know, there's maybe a few people that stand out that people will go to for advice or help or whatever. So I know we're adding to that noise, but I just want to have everything in one place, and that's what I'm just trying to do, Ames. You know, there's we're just trying to update our resources for the students, so for past, present and future ones, and just create an online hub that people can go to, whether that's our online platform if they enroll as a student, or whether that's an individual who wants to look at our YouTube channel, you know. And we've been working on it for a number of years, and I do feel, and I've been saying this to a lot of people recently, I feel like I'm almost at that point where it's all done. And you know, I've got a list down here on my whiteboard.
Never done. It's never done.
And there'll be something else afterwards, Ames, as well. We all know this. But yeah, so I think that the thing for me, and I want to do that, it's for myself, it's for our students, it's for our future students as well, it's for anyone that follows us and listens to anything that we do and say. I just got a little bit more I want to put together. I mean, on my YouTube channel, for example, I think I've got about 20 videos and about 80 drafts. So it's just a case of going back to each draft and finalizing, put the finishing touches on it and put it live. So that's where we're at the minute, just trying to finish off what we want to do for our students to give them the best possible hub that they can go to. And then also just for us, and then obviously what I want to do then is bring other fitness professionals. I've never wanted, and you'll know this from our conversation, Ames, I've never wanted Performance Training Academy to be about me. It's not about me. I think especially now we've got some great tutors, our students, yes, they learn from me on the theory side of things, but then they're learning from my tutors on the practical sense. And, you know, so that's their learning experience from these people. So I'm a lot less involved than what I used to be. And I don't want to go completely quiet, obviously. But then once I finish all my content and all of my head stuff is out online as a podcast or a blog or a video or a lesson, I can then bring other fitness professionals, you know, younger people than me, Ames, who can like bring their own knowledge and their own experience into it.
No, I had
brown hair and a brown beard before I started doing this academy. That's what's happened to me.
Really? I don't think I've ever known you without grey hair.
No,
grey, white? Anyway, I wanted to go back and just touch on you saying about adding to the noise by your YouTube channel and things like that. But I think what is important to say out, and you know this from the people that we naturally follow or go to for our training and things like that, is that yes, there is a plethora of information and providers out there, but what makes you stand out is the connection that you have with that person. What is it that you are bringing that's making that person go, I really like Ash, so I'm going to learn from him? And I think that's the key thing. I think that sometimes as business owners, us or people going through your courses who might be thinking about the competition, things like that, it's important to remember that you will be 100% somebody's cup of tea compared to somebody else. And that's what you have to remember, that what you bring is your personality, the way you teach things, the way you say things, the connection you have in your home life or anything like that. I mean, we've laughed and joked before, but I've got a golden retriever. If I see someone's got a golden retriever, I'm going, oh, I'm gonna explore more about you because we have that connection going on. So there's always going to be something that makes you attractive to somebody else. So, and I think that's important to remember when you are possibly comparing or thinking, oh, I'm just adding to the noise. So, and I've always said your greatest asset is you and your team. You have a great team because I believe, and I know lots of other people believe, they have a good leader. So, and that's what makes the whole business work well, isn't it? And I know you love your team to bits, the way you've spoken about them before. And I know you have a great laugh. I've seen the photos and the videos, and you're always having it looks like you're having a great banter and a giggle as well. So, and the feedback I've seen from your student testimonials is saying what a lovely environment it's been to learn from you guys. So yeah. So to kind of like wrap this up a little bit, people, if they do want to come and have a little nosy at the courses that you've got going on, or to hear a little bit more from you, just give us all the details.
Yeah, and this is another reason we've been quiet for the last few months as well. We've switched over to a new website. Nothing wrong with the old website, but again, it's probably me being a little bit OCD perfectionist about certain things. I just knew what I wanted wasn't what we had. So, you know, worked hard with some really good professionals, great individuals to get a new platform, a new website up. So anyone who wants to find out more can go to our new website, which is performancetrainingacademy.com, where there is all the information there. We are still adding to it because, again, there's a little bit more up here which I still want to put on that site, even on before you get to any online content, blogs, podcasts, etc. But people can sign up to our mail list, and I think the mail list is something that I would encourage all professionals to try to build a mail list, and then, importantly, Amy, work on their mail list most weeks. Am I right in saying that? Not just every now and then chuck out an email, but have some sort of plan and stick to that plan and take an action with it, right? So, you know,
absolutely.
Some people may know over this year that we were sending out some very regular emails thanks to Amy Green here, and it's kind of stopped over the last month because of me. But anyway, if someone wants to join up and sign up to our mail list, what we try to put out on our mail list is not just constant sell, buy this course. Yes, we will make people aware of when our next batch of workshops are, how they can sign up, how they can enroll, and how they can get started. Obviously, you still have to, it's what 80-20 is a great rule of thumb anyway, isn't it? You know, sell 20% of the time, but then put value out the rest of the time. So if we release a new blog, add new content to our online platform, put a video up on YouTube, we can just email that across, send a link to it, just give people some information that they're after, really. So they can sign up, homepage of our website, you'll see it on the bottom, add to my mail list, and then you can come and you can opt out anytime. It's a real simple way.
Okay, and to send a message or just get in contact with you, what's the best way to do that? Is there a contact form on your website, or is there a direct email address that people should use? And it should be in the bio of your Instagram, but
is it in the bio of the Instagram? No, well, if it's not, I will make sure it is by the end of the day in Instagram. But yeah, it's on the website. So on the footer of our website, people can sign up to our mail list. They can they can download prospectuses. If they go to a really cool little section on the website now, is if you go to media and then books, we've got some great ebooks available to people, how to build your fitness business, which these are both a couple of books that I wrote over the last year or so. They're really, I think, really useful, because the idea with these ebooks is to give people the information that they should have before they even think about becoming a fitness professional or buying into one of our qualifications. You know, you need to know what return you're going to get in your investment. You need to know, can you actually build that business, and how to build that business once you're qualified. So How to Build Your Fitness Business ebook on our website is a really good way. You just literally put your details in the form, download it, and then you'll get your ebook sent to you. That's a really useful one to show you what you can earn and the sort of foundations of your business, what they should look like to have in place to make it successful. We've also got another one, things you should know before becoming a fitness professional, you know, and that's the one where, you know, you gave me the inspiration on that one, Amy, like what sort of questions are you getting asked? And we were getting asked questions like, is it a saturated industry? How do I make a success of myself once I'm qualified? What should my course look like? What should be involved with my course? You know, so all those questions that people have asked us over the years, which you prompted me to put down out of my head onto some paper, wrote an ebook on the back of that. So that's available as well. You just got to literally fill out the form and you can download it. So yeah, we're easy to get in contact with. You know, you can even message us on Facebook if you want to. We're available on Facebook, all of those current means. I'm very good at this, aren't I?
Really, you are, which is exactly why I wanted to get you on the live, because you have got so much to give and to talk about as well. And I know it is, for anyone who is going into business or wants to, you know, to do this is an element, talking about your business, social media, the email marketing side of things, which is a completely different live another time. But it is a thing that, you know, it's just all us business owners are like, oh God, we've got to do our social media again. But this is such a quick way for you to communicate and for people to see and hear from you what it is you have to offer, the value you give, and you know, if they're getting the good vibe, thinking, oh, I like the sound of Ash, I'm going to go and have a look at his website, kind of thing. But that's great. So, and that's what I want to.
Unfortunately for everyone, Ames, you've inspired me to do a few more lives now, so I'll be popping up all over the place. But on that note,
well, that's all right.
With any business, you always include, no matter what business you have to put that time and effort to learn the right things, learn the right way, invest in yourself to make sure you get everything that you need, so then you can go and help others. But then it's just having a plan and implementing that plan, isn't it? So I know my plan has kind of gone quiet, but there is a plan here still to action, which is more present on social media, put more stuff out there. There's always a plan. And I don't think people should feel bad with like social media. That's another chat for another day, I know. they shouldn't feel bad if they're not posting all the time. It is better if you post all the time, because people see from you, they hear from you, they know that where you are when they want to buy into you, or the fact they can get the value that they want as well. But people, you know, never feel guilty when you go quiet, sort of thing. And I've felt guilty for not doing very much recently. But then I know equally on the back of that, I've been doing things that will benefit myself, my business, my tutors, and the students going forwards, and the future students coming into the academy as well. So, you know, sometimes you got to work hard in silence and let the success be your noise, or whatever the saying goes, isn't it? You know.
I didn't know where you're going with that, but yeah. Cool. Right. Well, I think we've kind of like covered everything for the moment. So this is about you kind of like talking about the industry and what it is that you do. I'm really excited for you guys to hear that the industry is still on the up. Basically, every industry goes through peaks and troughs, doesn't it? So, but it's good to hear from you, as having worked in the industry as a personal trainer, but your team are active personal trainers and have their own businesses, and the students to know that this is still something worthy, it's still something that's growing, it's still something impactful, it's still something that people want as well. So that's really positive. That's really positive to hear. So, and I'm really pleased for all of you. So that's good. Cool. Is there anything else you want to add in before we say goodbye and I get a warm cup of tea?
I need a warm cup of tea. So no, just on what you just said there, it never be scared about the industry itself. The health and fitness industry is a great industry. It's something that is still thriving. Everybody needs to work on their health, and the more yes, there's a lot of
that's never going to go away.
Never going to go away. People always need that support and guidance and help. So that's why, you know, I'm not trying to sell any courses here. I'm just saying, like, the health and fitness industry is thriving, is doing well, because people need support and help with their own, whether it's mental well-being, their physicality, whatever it may be. So yeah, it's still a very prominent industry to get involved with, and you know, that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I've seen the joy it brings to people when they've got their own successes with their own businesses, and also the people that they're helping. You know, I've helped people as a personal trainer, and I love that students are now getting that same reward that I had back in the day.
Back in the day.
Brilliant.
We're not that old, Ash.
Not yet.
Cool. Right. Lovely to chat. We'll do this again.
Yeah.
And see you later.
Amy, thanks for your time. You've been amazing. See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.